it's been confusing. I'm not sure how, we don't publish a table with it, but it's been out there. But it would really streamline our fare categories if we didn't have that. Fernando, do you have an idea how many people take advantage of that, or if it's?
I would say 50% of the passengers try to take advantage of that, because then you have regular people, undisabled, so I get half off. So we just tell our drivers, go ahead and go word of mouth, and do that, because we're not going to be the passenger control and make sure they're showing us IDs or anything. No arguments started, so it's about 50%.
But if we get rid of a fare for seniors and disabled, then it won't matter anymore, right?
That's true. It won't matter because they'll be riding free even if they go to Eureka. You're
Yeah.
right. It's true. That solves that problem.
Okay.
And we also spoke about getting IDs for the senior. I don't know about the disabled people. You might end up with undisabled who ride for free. So I mean, there might be a lot of people that try to take advantage of that unless we have some sort of form that we can request from them to state that they are disabled or they are seniors.
Yeah, I'm sure like DMV would give most actually disabled people some kind of something.
Who
Or they
determines?
could maybe get it from their doctor. We could give them a form and their doctor could just sign it.
Kind of like we do with our ADA paratransit. So, yeah, I think so. This could be just a different looking card with maybe a little less rigorous paperwork, but some paperwork to prove the disability.
Okay, did we check all the boxes on that one?
I think so.
Okay. Number 8, update on the extension of the ground lease for Williams Drive RCTA Maintenance and Operations Facility.
Thank you, Chair Borges. This one doesn't have a written staff report. We haven't got we don't have an actual new lease, like a PDF that we could spread around and print out. But we did hear from the fairgrounds that the lease was approved, the lease extension. So this was the 20-year option that I guess was what do you call it? A unilateral option. We wanted to stay, so we did. So that's in process. The one thing that has come up is, though, the state of California, which owns the fairgrounds land and is responsible for all the ground leases and stuff on state land, they're going to need to review our electric vehicle charging project because it proposes additional generator and electricity and stuff that affects their lot as the underlying owner. So that, we're going to have to submit that, so that'll be like a parallel process that we do. But yeah, I'm told the lease is extended, although I haven't got a copy of it yet, so that's why there was no written staff report.
So I would assume that none of these electrical improvement projects move forward until we have a signed, approved extension of the lease, right?
Yeah.
Okay, dumb question, but
No, it's a
you
good
never,
question.
you can't assume.
No, not
I
at
guess.
all.
Yeah, and I think the first couple alternatives, we don't have it was going to be on this one, but now next month you guys will get an update from that project, the like conceptual design of the site. So we'll have some stuff to talk about next month. But a couple of the options that we're favoring so far would actually probably increase our leasehold a little, so that would have to go back to the state. It's like, okay, we don't want that, which is 1.23. We want this, which is 1.55. It's not a huge take, but it'd be a little bit more room for us. So that could still happen.
Okay, any further discussion?
On the lease agreement with the state, is there some kind of protection for RCT if the state decides to sell that property?
That's a good question. I believe there is, but I'd have to look at that or refer that to the attorney. I'm not sure how strong a protection it is, but I believe, we had the unilateral for the 20, and now there's going to be another 20-year extension language at the end of this one, so that we don't get booted out in 2044 either. But yeah, let me check on that because I'm not sure how it's worded.
Yeah, because I know I've read where a lot of the fairgrounds are being sold off. So, on the state.
No, it's good to consider for sure.
Any other discussion?
Purchasing a lot.
Yeah, if it was offered to us for purchase, that would be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's see, item number 9, discussion of Redwood Coast Express Regional Intercity Bus Service Cooperative Partnership.
This is an exciting one that I wanted to share. We've been kind of working on this for a couple of years. You may remember when we started the credit card acceptance project, that was with our partners to the south. And one of the reasons we started doing that and wanted to all have the same vendor was so that we could eventually have a route that's co-branded, that has some seamlessness to it between the multiple providers up here. A lot of this is coming from the continual contraction of Greyhound service up in this area. You know, RCT was born, I believe, of the initial contraction when they stopped, Greyhound stopped coming all the way up to Del Norte. And then RCTA was born to try to meet some of those unmet needs and connect with them in Arcata. During the pandemic, things have been really hard for Greyhound. So they've reduced services to like 4 days a week now, one of which is a day that we don't even operate. So I believe they're rolling like Friday through Monday now, or Thursday through Sunday, something like that. But anyway, so the group, the partnership between ourselves, Humboldt Transit, Mendocino Transit, and Lake Transit, and to a certain extent Sonoma County Transit as well, has been to create an alternative so that folks have a way to get up and down the 101 corridor in the far north here without using Greyhound or Amtrak services, or in addition to them, more options. So that's what the RCX is, as they call it. So the Redwood Coast Express, basically, the cool thing is we didn't have to do a whole lot of adjustment to our service. We were already coming down in the morning and providing the southbound first feeder segment of this. So what we did do is last summer, we extended to Eureka. That was part of that, to get in position for this. So now our morning passengers, when they get to Eureka at 3rd and H, they get off, and there's a waiting HTA bus, their new RCX route is the name of their route, that will take them from there to Ukiah. So they get down to Ukiah like mid-afternoon, and from Ukiah, Mendocino Transit, I think it's going to be the 65, they're just going to do a new variation of the 65, is going to take them into Santa Rosa to the Transit Mall, and I believe also to the Airport Smart Station if they want the train. So that's exciting. The service just had a soft launch. I mean, we've been doing our thing with the extension into Eureka since last June, and it's been going pretty well.
Isn't that where we were extending for the doctors?
Yeah. So yeah, that we were able to accomplish that objective while also meeting our part to do this new downtown transfer point in Eureka with Humboldt for the RC Express. So that's going well. So we've had to do a little bit of adjustment for our PM return trip. So, and this is one of the weird deals that's, I've been practicing explaining this to other people, so hopefully you guys get it. So Route 20, not every Route 20 trip is part of the Redwood Express family. So, for example, the morning southbound trip is, but the morning northbound trip is not. So it's that morning southbound trip that'll get you from Crescent City down to Santa Rosa in the late afternoon. And then the evening trip that departs Santa Rosa in the morning and gets up here in the late afternoon, where they'll get on our bus at downtown Eureka at 6 p.m. And arrive here at about 8:30. So that's part of the Redwood Express trip. So you can go up and down the corridor in one way in one day. I notice there's people like, oh, you can't go down and stay for a day. It's like, you know, it'd have to be a bullet train to do that. But this is a huge step. I think it's going to be very popular once people know how it works. And it could be that more trips become Redwood Express in the future. This is the initial schedule we're working with now. And the credit card readers are good. So our fares stay the same. We just went through them. They're anywhere from $2 to $12, depending on where you get on the bus and where you get off. And then we still have our promotional period with our tap to pay credit card, which is $2, so which is a really good deal. So those are in place, as well as there's promotional specials on the pricing down south as well.
Great.
So this is information only. We just wanted to let you guys know it's pretty exciting. Hopefully there's some co-branding and marketing coming along, but I don't have anything to report on that just yet.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, great. Item number 10, discussion of the new RCTA bus stop signs and signposts and sim seat installation permit packages.
Okay, looks like my page is missing out of the packet. Anyhow, so we've been working, about a year ago, we purchased 50 semi seats, which are these post-mounted little seats that sit at the bus stops. They provide some seating for passengers while not having an area where it can be like, sort of co-opted into a shelter or occupied by folks that aren't using the bus. So we bought 50 of these. They've been slow to roll out because the cities with jurisdiction and the counties have wanted like a permit package for it to be submitted that shows what we want to do at each stop. So in doing that, we also are addressing a second major bus stop project that's been probably 20 years in the making. Many of our bus stops don't have signs at all, especially out in the county areas. So this project, the packets we've put together will implement 50 semi seats at certain locations, but also add new bus stop signs at all the locations that are missing. And then where the ones that we have signs, they'll swap them out. So with the new bus stop signs and remove the old kind of tall, skinny white ones that we have now. So we were just out actually this weekend, Fernando and I, looking at some of the areas that we had some questions about. So this will be, once we get permission from the cities and counties, I'm guessing this will be a spring project. I do want to get some feedback on the bus stop, the new bus stop sign, which you should find in your packet. That's this guy here. We did have one change. We'd like to add a QR code to it. Fernando and I were out there looking at it today. We have a pilot, one of these down at the Cultural Center that's been there for maybe a month. And it looks pretty good. We wanted to make sure it was visible at night. It's always a little bit worrisome with the darker colored background. But
Can you make the bus glow in the dark?
Yeah. So this is highly reflective, so you can see it in the headlights at night and know that it's a bus stop. We'll probably add the QR code, which will be more white, reflective. But yeah, supposedly the pilot ones went pretty well. As long as the cities and counties are supportive of it, we'll go with this design here, unless we have if we have some board input. We do want to, instead of writing out the website, I like Fernando's idea a lot of doing the QR code where people can just jump to our website from their phones. So we'd like to try that.
Mm-hmm. Great idea.
Will making a QR code out of reflective material cause it to not scan right?
If you got a headlight in front of it.
Is that, don't you have a light on your camera then?
It won't affect the light. As long as there's nothing shining at it with like a light, it'll just be like as if you were taking a picture of it.
Unless you have your flash on, is that what you're saying?
That's what I was thinking. I know I've had trouble scanning things at night, so I don't know.
Yeah, scanning it every night. It's hard to say when you do a test pilot to see.
Just throwing
Yeah,
it
we
out
could
there.
do
I don't know
that.
if it'd
We could
work
do
one way or
that.
the other.
And I'm understanding these little chairs, that's what you're going to put around?
Yes. Yeah, the little chairs. Yeah, that's kind of our plan to try to get seating back out at our bus stops, even with the current issues we're having with the shelters. So these, we could easily do another batch of 50 of these next year if these first batch go well, because they'll fit in almost any location pretty nicely and provide short-term seating while people wait for the bus without being a big maintenance burden.
And it discourages people from sleeping on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not fun to
Maybe.
sleep on. no.
Maybe. They might
But
just
unless you're a very small person,
pass out on it.
I don't fit into that category.
All right.
The picture doesn't do it justice. They're pretty decent size.
Okay.
Yeah, they're decent size, yeah.
And Fernando, could you tell me what happened to the bus stop at Safeway? We put that
were
in?
asked to move it by the property management Safeway
Really?
because of all the transients sleeping in it. They weren't allowing our riders to sit in it or move, nothing. So we got a lot of complaints from our passengers telling Safeway, hey, we can't sit at the bus stop. So they contacted us and asked us to remove it.
We had so much input from the public asking for that, and then
Yeah,
the sleepers ruined it.
it's a sad
Nice.
situation.
Darn it.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Manager report, TransDev, General Manager.
You're up.
So other than the drainage at the facility, our driver staffing levels are great. We did have to open the maintenance manager position back up. Our maintenance manager had to resign due to personal issues.
The one we just hired?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
So we have another gentleman that applied, he currently works in Brookings, but he is a good fit, and we hopefully have him in the next 30 days. He wants to give at least 30-day notice to his current employer, so
great.
give him time to train him. Well, other than that, that's the report.
Perfect.
And Justin's been able to
Yeah, Justin's been able to
keep us all going.
buses with help from Washington, so we have a gentleman named Kelly up there that co-partnering with Justin, and if he needs to come down, if he needs to do major repairs.
Nice.
And this goes back to one of the things that the board and that we've done. We added that second position finally after all these years. And it, yeah, it became a blessing that we have
Yeah.
one maintenance person at least.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Now, all that's left is our CTA Executive Director's report.
I think I just want to touch on one thing and then we'll let you guys go. So the contract that my team works under is, it runs with the fiscal year, and we are in the third year of a 3-year base now, so we're halfway through year 3. So the board needs to think about if you want us to submit a proposed extension offer and to the new attorneys that are out there. We're still in communication, they just don't attend every meeting to keep the cost down. So if you guys would like, our team will put together what we think is a fair extension offer and try to negotiate it with Catherine on you guys' behalf. And we can bring that back next month. Or, I mean, we want to have time for a smooth transition. So, or if you don't want to do that, we would need to have Catherine take the lead on doing an RFP for another 3-year base or 5-year base or however you wanted to do it, contract. And then that would need to go out this spring and, you know, my team could bid on it or not and go from there. But yeah, it's kind of that time. It snuck up. I just realized it the other day. It's like it's not on the agenda, but we better let you guys know. So I guess kind of just some direction on that. Then I can take it with the attorney from there and see if we can get something for you guys to consider at the next meeting as far as extension or go out, because there'll still be time, but the process to go out takes a month or 2, so we don't want to wait until like May. That would be disingenuous.
Do we have any immediate needs that we would need to extend it?
Just having management on board, I mean, yeah, I think you don't want to have nobody in the seat. So yeah, for sure we wouldn't want to do that, but
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the attorney.
no, the attorney's on board. So this would be for myself,
Oh,
and
I'm
then we
sorry.
have Dan and Mark
And I
and Sylvia that help
totally-
us. Yeah, so it's mainly for like my
Yeah,
position.
we don't need to.
Do we want Joe or
extend
not,
your
is what it boils down
contract.
to.
That's kind
Yeah, he's
of
trying to
what
beat
it
around the
boils
bush,
down
but
to.
do we want him or not?
Right.
Yes, please.
So direction to come back with
An
an
extension.
extension, right?
Okay,
Is
yep.
that what we're
Yep.
determining?
Okay,
Yes, yes, okay, you got direction.
perfect.
I do have an announcement. Nothing that we're not all aware of, but I thought, just in case Joe's not aware, the Border Coast Regional Airport Authority has ended our relationship with Contour Airlines effective March 16th, and Advanced Air will be coming online. The reason I wanted to bring it up is I know that we started the airport run, but the new company has talked about just, thinking outside of the box of what to do to help our community when the weather is affecting flights. And whether or not there might be a solution to drive people to Medford and having their airline go to Medford to pick those passengers up and get them to Oakland or to Hawthorne. And so I just thought you might want to eventually have a conversation with them about what that might look like for RCT as a possibility for a revenue stream.
That's a good idea, yep. That's great.
We've always wanted an airport shuttle, Joe.
Yeah. That's true.
And maybe, you know, it's a higher, you know, fare because it would be like an on-call basis, right, based on
Yeah.
weather.
You know. When do they officially start?
March 17th,
Nice.
my birthday.
Thank you,
Do
Kim.
they sometimes
It's gonna
convert
creep up real
to
fast.
Arcata? I know they used to.
They have, this is a new provider that will
Yeah, I
be
know.
starting, so I'm not sure.
sure.
Yeah.
I would like to ask something. I know we talked about it a couple meetings ago about the fuel with Renner.
Yes.
And they had overcharged us. Whatever happened with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot. I talked to him and told him.
Maybe we need to go out for RFP.
Well, yeah, I kind of threatened him like that, and, yeah, no, I got a hold of someone, told him that, you know, what we had been talking about and what we'd been offered, and, it's very weird. I mean, but yes, she's like, oh, okay, let me see what I can do, and then they came back, she goes, well, I can't give you like a government pricing for sure, but then she came back and lowered our pricing pretty significantly. So I'm not sure what that means, but our prices did drop right after we had that conversation. So I believe last month was cheaper, and maybe even the month before, because I had that as right after we talked about that a couple months ago. So they seem responsive and wanting to keep our business and value us. They said something about they couldn't do exactly what the other outfit could do, but here she'll give us special pricing, and that's where we're at. So it
they
has
did-
improved.
They didn't answer the question as to whether we were overcharged, but then offered a
Right.
discounted rate?
Right, they offered to improve our rate, but they didn't say, they didn't say we weren't or were on government pricing. It sounds like we were paying just regular, like, partner pricing or whatever. Yeah, it was kind of a weird discussion, but the price did go down since then, so that was good. I'm not sure how much of that is spot market versus actually our price, but it looked much better for sure.
Shouldn't we have something in writing?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody agrees, I think we need to have a formal agreement with them if we're going to continue doing business with them.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
True. Good reminder, though, on the issue, though. I'd forgotten about that.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, any other announcements? Seeing none, we will adjourn till our next meeting, Monday, February 26th, 2024 at 4:15.
Oh,
Special meetings.
oh, joy. Okay, well,
You have a
have
special meeting?
fun. Is it at, which one? Yeah.